Coming up on this edition of Speed Chronicles, it's the month of May.
SIG Media presents Speed Chronicles with Todd Lewis, powered by Rev TV.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out this week's Speed Chronicles. Do it every week on the Rev TV YouTube channel. Find it also on your favorite podcast platform. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Do it every week, talking about motorsports and the bigger stories, not just results focused. Okay, so let's deal with IndyCar that began their activity at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway last week. Of course, it's the Indianapolis Grand Prix first, then we get into qualifying, and of course, the greatest spectacle in racing at the end of the month, which is the Indianapolis 500. The Indy Grand Prix, it's the obligatory road course event that they chucked onto the schedule a few years ago, trying to get the schedule to a reasonable length and stuff. It's not the greatest event. It's not the best event. It's not the best road course in the world, but it's okay, provides or can provide some reasonable amount of drama and excitement. Hasn't really been the case the last couple of years, though, because it's been Alex Palou's playground, and oh, look at that, did it again. Another nice race, starts on pole, manages the race pretty well. He's, surrenders the lead to Graham Rahal, but you know what? He's under control. It's fine. Catches him, wins. Copy, paste, repeat, wins from pole. That's 3 straight years at the Indianapolis Grand Prix that Alex Palou has been your winner. But we did have a yellow flag. There was a caution period during this race. We hadn't had one in IndyCar since race number 1 in St. Petersburg, beginning of March. There's like 400 plus laps of green flag running, which is good, but also isn't as good because it doesn't provide opportunities to bunch the field up and create opportunities for passing for the lead. It's nice to have passing through the field, and I want to see that regularly in whichever series we happen to be talking about, but I want to see passes for the lead. I want to see more passes for the lead. The other part of it was the convoluted, hey, let's try this, see how it works, tire strategy of having to run both the primary compound and the alternate softer compound for 2 stints at the Grand Prix. I don't know that really had any dramatic effect other than everybody ran each tire 2 times and you chose which order you want to run them in. Anyhow, it's not a big deal. But Alex Palou winning again is a big deal. And this is something that IndyCar should be leaning into even harder now, is that you are perhaps in the midst of a season for the ages where someone is going to really take advantage. Now, winning on an oval is going to be another situation, and we'll see how that plays out for Palou as the year goes on. But it's really something to see the dominance that he has had over the field so far. I ain't one for doing no math, but I really think that someone should start looking into the logistics and how soon he could actually clinch the title. And really lean into it. Again, if it's going to be this way, then understand what you've got and approach it as this is a season that you may never see repeated again. That's the cool angle of the storyline that you could lose. Now, the other thing that struck me about the Indy GP, really messed up as I was watching the race. It was a debacle of a post-race ceremony and how it all put together. So normally there's a protocol for how each series has for the end of the race, how the logistics play out, how they get the winner to victory circle, the interview process, and the like. There's a pecking order for interviews and how the post-race run of show works. TV always gets the first interview, and for IndyCar, that's normally followed up immediately by IndyCar Radio. Okay, so I'm watching the race coverage, and I don't see any television interviews happening. In fact, I don't see any interviews happening, as a matter of fact. So they get Palou's car over to the podium area, and they just sort of start taking pictures with the team. And then they raise the car up because it's an elevated victory circle podium, if you will, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And it's still just the team with the car, and there's more photos, and you're seeing a video shot on TV, but it's not a lot of good video, quite frankly. And there is still no interview that has taken place with the winner. And Alex Palou gets out of the car and he cheers and celebrates with his team. And we still have no interview that has taken place. And then they bring up the second and third place finishers for the podium ceremony. And we have more video and more photos being taken, but we still have no interview with the winner. And then I hear on the PA is like, all right, now let's celebrate with champagne. And they don't have any champagne in front of them to celebrate. Apparently nobody got the memo about how to do things, or they were trying something different. I don't know. But quite frankly, this sucked. Palou got wheeled to the podium, took the photos, moved to the elevated platform, more photos, team, second, third place, champagne, no interviews. How do you keep your television audience waiting that long to hear from the winner? The other part is at Indy, they play the television interviews over the PA. So you've got your crowd on site who is also waiting to hear from the winner of the race. Horrible, terrible, ridiculous. You don't get any of that winner enthusiasm. They stuck one in before the end of the broadcast. This was ridiculous. It was amateur hour. Let's hope that this is a one-off failed experiment, or something went horribly wrong and will be corrected going forward. The Indy 500 is even more winner focused. It makes sense. It's all about the ceremony of getting the trophy, the wreath and the milk and all the rest of it. The run of show routine is very specific. I'm curious to see what happens in a week and a half as we get towards the Indianapolis 500. Another TV audience number of just over 700,000. That's not good enough. Oh, overall, Fox is up this year. Yeah, because they had an outstanding first race, and that gave them a little bit of extra runway. But 700,000, you've got to have at least 1 million. It's not good enough. They've also juggled and futzed with some of the start times for the races. In fact, moving the race at Gateway on Father's Day weekend into Sunday prime time, which is good from the track perspective because you're not going to be in the heat of the day. Sunday night is going to be interesting depending on what other competition they're going up against. It'll be interesting. They also shuffled the Toronto Indy start time, by the way. It is now a noon broadcast start instead of 2 p.m., which is very early for a race start. IMSA was at Laguna Seca. I mentioned last week how much I love this place. It is just, it's special. It's the whole area, a tremendous finish to the race, by the way. 3 GTP cars who were battling it out for first, second, third, weren't sure for a while which one was going to win, whether the 7 Penske was going to win it again, but no, it didn't turn out that way. They all came approaching the FAF car on the last lap, and it was like, I don't know which way to go. I was in touch with the spotter for the FAF team. He said, just told him you had 3 cars that were really fast. Try to stay out of the way. Did the best they could. But it was a great finish, great event, super fun. That track, by the way, again, that whole area, it's fantastic. Love it. The corkscrew shot, whether you're looking up or coming down, it's tremendous. It's a 5.5 story drop. It's really good. Here's another story from years ago and attending and working at an event there. So when you're working at events, as often you'll rent a golf cart to get around because the tracks are so big and you'll end up walking miles and miles and miles. And like anything that you rent from an on-site vendor, some are better quality than others. Some, maybe have a little more horsepower in the golf cart. Some are a little down on power. So I knew there's 3 or 4 of us with our gear in the golf cart trying to go up one of the big hills at Laguna Seca. Honest to goodness, I didn't think we were going to make it. I could have gotten out and walked faster. I really did not think we were going to make it up that hill, but it's a tremendous place. The other thing we did, I think it was on that same trip, as we're driving back, had to take a red eye back to the East Coast, and we're leaving the track. It's like we've got a lot of time before that overnight flight. Screw it. Drive right into San Francisco, go by the airport, go right into downtown San Francisco, right to Fisherman's Wharf, seafood for dinner. Just made it back in time for the flight. There was no issue, but it was great. Super fun. NASCAR Kansas looked like a bunch of empty seats. Racing in the afternoon on Mother's Day will get you that. We'll see what happens going forward. But again, it's NASCAR every weekend now. All-Star races coming up. And of course, this is really the kickoff coming up to Canadian race season. And in particular, the NASCAR Canada Series at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Super excited about it this weekend. Been a lot of people doing a lot of work to prepare for this season and new broadcasts and the partner with Rev TV. There's been a lot of people doing a lot of work and trying some things and different things. It's going to be a work in progress, but super excited for the new season to get underway and just getting back and working at the track again. It's been a couple of weeks, so yeah, I'm kind of been missing it, but really excited, looking forward to it. It'll be live on Rev TV Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m., live on their YouTube channel as well for the first race at CTMP. Looking forward to that. And of course, Formula One back in action in Italy. Oh, you think the pressure will be on Ferrari this weekend? Always is. Curious to see which McLaren driver finds their way to the front as well. So that'll do it for this edition of Speed Chronicles. Don't forget, we do it every Wednesday. Like and subscribe on the YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate your comments and feedback as well. Have a great weekend of racing. See you again next Wednesday.